I'm going to ask you another question, and we're going to answer when we come back from this break. What is your favorite part of the book? That is something that we're going to answer after we come back from this short break.
Empower Linked is a proud sponsor of RTN Chicago. Empower Linked promotes businesses, listings, and organizations on TVs at host locations, on social media, and on digital radio. City Habitat, the #1 trusted source for real estate and property management. City Habitat helps with selling, buying, and managing your property. Thank you for watching RTN Chicago. This faith-based programming is possible through donations from viewers like you.
We're back in the studio. We're continuing the conversation with Matthew J. Wolak, a faith-based speaker and author of the book Loving and Living, Loving Your Father Even Though He. So speaking of loving and living, what is your favorite part of this book?
My favorite part of the book is there's a chapter in there titled 3 Stories I'll Never Forget. And the one that comes to mind to share today is my dad had hunted his whole life. What was interesting is when my parents got divorced when I was really young, I was about 7 years old or so, they got divorced. And from that point on, I don't think my dad ever hunted again, but it was one of his greatest passions. And I was disappointed about that. He never taught me how to hunt, which I wanted to learn. But eventually, as we grew in our relationship, we talked about hunting, and I said, I want to get a new bow. And we planned on going to the store. I had already picked out the bow online, was headed to the store just to buy it. It's supposed to be very simple. We go in, and I asked the guy that's working in the area of bows where the bow's at. And his response was crappy. He's like, "You don't want that bow." And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I do. I researched it. I already picked it. And they weren't working on commission, so he was just being a knob. And I'm going, and it turned me off so much. We left, walked out the store, and we're sitting in the car. And my dad says, "You know, we got to go back in." And I talked to him. I said, "What are we going to do?" And we talked about talking to the manager. And I said to my dad, "Here's what I'm thinking of saying. I'm thinking of saying what happened. And now here I am, and I don't even want to buy the bow from you." And so we prayed, lifted it up to the Lord, went back in, grabbed the manager, shared the story. The manager stayed relatively silent, but said, "Can you come with me to the back of the store where the bows were?" And I think I remember him having this tiny smile on his face, which I knew something was up for the better, for the good. And we get back to the department, and he comes out and says, "I want to give you a different price on this bow." He comes back and he puts the piece of paper in front of us. And it was some extraordinary amount off. I mean, it was beyond 50% even, maybe even 70% off the bow. And I just was ready to do a backflip with how little it was going to cost. I couldn't believe it. And my dad and I just reveled in the Lord that he had given us this extraordinary blessing. And it came out from somebody being crummy to us or to me when I wanted to buy this bow. But I got to share that with my dad, and then got to later hunt with my dad using that bow.